When ageism catches up to you. I think this is gonna be a great video because all of y'all annoying, hating, sleazy, greasy ass little toddler chicken nugget motherfuckers in my chat that be calling me unk and making fun of how old I am. Y'all gonna get old one day too. Y'all gonna turn 29 one day too. And then you go see how I feel when little chick mug motherfuckers start calling you unk just because you getting older. So I'm on y'all asses, bro. I'm on y'all asses. Pissing me off, bro. I think this video is gonna be revolving around Lil Uzi Vert though, because I remember back in the day, he used to be talking so much shit about people that got older or like older people. And it's like, bro, like I just said, now he's the same age that he was talking crap about, and all of a sudden he ain't got nothing to say. Let's get right into the video, man. Make sure you guys tap into the Twitch streams. Link to that will be in the description. Where you at, family? We streaming every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I want to see you there. You know where to find me.
Where you at, Berto?
What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be Paying. Today I'm back with another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about Lil Uzi's ageism catching up to him. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. Gen Z is a very ageist generation. We hate all things that are old. In Gen Z, if you are over the age of 20, you're ancient, bro. Like, you might as well just get ready to go ahead and get in that box and go 6 feet under, because your life is over once you hit 20. Like, you ever see those videos of those like kids or those basketball players in college when they're like, how old do you need to be considered to be old nowadays? And they're like, ah, man, 24. You know, what year do you need to be born in to be considered old? And they're like, 2003. And it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, on TikTok, you would think I'm the oldest man on the planet. I'm not going to tell you my exact age, but I'm in between the years of 20 and 26. And they always tell me to go start a family.
Nigga, you 26. You aired it out right there. He said I'm in the between ages of 20 and 26. Nigga, you're 26.
You're unk now. Let it go, bro. You're not a kid anymore. Why are you making TikTok? Like, you would think I'm the oldest person to ever step foot on earth. And even though Uzi he is a younger millennial, he acted just like this when he was on his come up. He would constantly talk about his age. He would talk about the difference between himself and the older generation of rappers, or the older generation.
Cats to see what y'all really built.
Hey,
though.
you heard me? I'm
really
too young.
Friends
Your
all-
fans gonna be disappointed. All the old
They don't
guys.
give a
Of hip-hop. He would talk about how him and his generation are doing things differently, and he heavily valued that youth. And he would say to all the older people, if you're not going to get with the program, then you just need to go ahead and get out.
Uzi's 31. Is that how old Uzi is like right now? Let me check that. How old is Lil Uzi Vert? Bro, Uzi's 31? Again, there's nothing wrong. Oh, it's his birthday today? This nigga just... Wait, no, it's not. It's not his birthday. Is it? It's Lil Uzi's birthday today? What the fuck? That's crazy. Happy birthday, Lil Uzi. But not that it's a problem that he's 31, but like, I just didn't think he was older than me. Interesting. I guess you learn something new every day.
Out the way. Yet now, Uzi is of the age of the people that he used to call old. And I think that he's actually in a very interesting part of his career now. Lil Uzi is a founding member of this generation of rap. A lot of the trends, fashion, and music really got its start with Uzi and his come up. It still feels a bit weird to say since this is like my high school era of music, but Uzi is an OG at this point. He's been around for like over a decade now as a major player in the rap scene. This gimmicky rapper from Philadelphia with purple dreads and strange outfits and even stranger music actually...
I will say I'm not judging him because I don't really give a fuck, but the way Uzi acts and dress still is still kind of like, damn, bro. You would like to think you would mature a little bit as you get older. Like, even me, I feel like I've matured since when I was 17, 18. I'm 29 now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Uzi is trying real hard to act like he's still fucking a teenager.
Lasted 10 years instead of falling off like a lot of the media members said he would when he was on his rise. He's now 31 years old and now at a point in his career where he is an elder statesman. And while I wouldn't say his career is in a complete state of flux, there definitely isn't a laid out path for him at the moment. And the future, the near future especially, is up in question. Uzi has always seen himself as the young guy coming in with all the sauce, throwing a wrench into the game. You know, innovating sounds and styles, almost starting a revolution in hip-hop. And he was right to believe those things about himself. But now he's the older, established guy who isn't really trailblazing or breaking any new ground anymore. In fact, his style that was seen as so chaotic and so new and so out there has been adapted by so many people that came behind him. He's not even really seen as super different anymore. He doesn't stick out like a sore thumb.
But he did pave the way though. All these niggas with the pink dreads and all the, you know, I mean, maybe he didn't come up with the face tattoos, because if you really think about it, who really started that shit like that was Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne really is like the OG of face tattoos and pink dreads and all that shit. But maybe not the pink dreads. I think that was more Lil Uzi. But still, like the whole dread aesthetic, you know, face tats and whatnot. I'm so glad I didn't hop on that wave. I'm so glad I did not get no fucking face tats. Now, I will still be the most tatted YouTuber because, you know me, bro. I'm going blasted on them. I'm gonna be hella tatted, but I ain't doing no face tats though.
Like he used to in the past.
What's good, Eldon? Welcome to the stream.
Uzi was so new and everything that he was doing was so different that everything he did was either copied or it was heavily debated upon as the worst thing to ever happen in the history of hip hop, or something really cool and something that's going to break open doors for the next generation. Now, I'm not saying that Uzi can no longer innovate in rap after turning 30 or being over the age of 30, but it just doesn't come as easy for him as it once did. It's not as natural as when you're the new guy who's coming in and setting the entire...
That's why I got a lot of respect for Drake, bro. Say what you want about Drake. He's been able to kind of still keep things feeling fresh, you know, over the years in music.
Our world on fire. I think we're seeing this reflected in Uzi's music. Lil Uzi's music isn't as dominant as it was 5 to 7 years ago now. In fact, his last 2 albums weren't really super well received unanimously. Now, I will die on the hill that Pink Tape is a good album. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone has to say. You can't tell me anything about that project. I think it's really good. I enjoy the experimental stuff. I enjoy some of the weird, quirky stuff on there. I think it's a ton of fun. But there's no denying that that isn't the total overall kind of summary opinion when it comes to the Pink Tape. Most people in rap really didn't care for it that much. Even some of Uzi's diehard fans didn't really care for that album that much. Now, when we get to Eternal Atake...
Hey, Eldon in the chat just said, man, not gonna lie, Uzi Vert is pushing 40, still trying to act like a gay or a vampire. Now, that's funny as fuck. Yeah, that shit's odd. That is odd. But again, I don't know. I don't know. No comment.
2, there's not much I can say for that project. I think that is... I don't want to say a bad album, but it's definitely not a good album. And I think that opinion
What's good, John?
has been reflected amongst the community, whether it's Uzi fans or just fans as a whole. Everyone kind of agrees that Eternal Atake 2 was a miss. And I think that not only did the poor reaction from fans kind of get to Uzi a bit, I also think that the low sales did as well, because this album only sold 60K first week, which for Uzi, the guy that Uzi is a very low mark.
The thing about Uzi, though, I also feel like Uzi, he's one of those artists where we don't need no more music from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, no glaze, bro, but he's given us so much good music. Like, we don't really need anything else. And I'm not suggesting that he should stop making music. It's just kind of like, I think he's cemented as a legacy act. I feel like Uzi can continue to drop music and he'll have good songs here and there, maybe even have like hit songs, you know what I'm saying? He just had a really smash big hit songs within the last couple of years with like the, what was it? The I Just Wanna Rock joint. That hoe is hard. That hoe is hard. You know what I'm saying? Berto, when it comes to rappers, wipe your mouth, please. Oh my fucking God. Bro. I'm not saying anything else for the rest of this video, bro.
It's truly an amazing thing that Uzi's career has gone on for this long with this much great music, this much fan support, this many numbers and accomplishments. Like, it's an amazing thing. However, I don't think Uzi ever really thought of himself as like getting older and rapping. And I know that sounds weird because, like, you know, it was only 7 years ago, but still, when you look at the way that he used to talk or look at some of his old tweets, it was like he didn't picture himself rapping at 30 plus. Maybe he thought he would be full-time doing the rock star thing, or maybe just moving on to a completely different venture in life. But he would tweet stuff like, oh, if you're older than 25, then you're old, just accept it, or something like that. Or he would tweet things like, if you're 30 and up, you're lame. And now he is that 30-year-old lame person, I guess, according to his own words.
I told a lot of people, it's a lot of people I never saw in person. I want to see how they look in person.
Like who?
I don't know. All the old people. I want to see how they look, see how old they look.
And it feels like in his career, he's kind of stuck. Like he just doesn't really know what to do next. Now, of course, this is me looking from the outside in, but I think there's a lot of evidence to prove that based on him saying a whole bunch of different things. Old Uzi, new era. We're going back to 2016. We're doing Barter 1600. Like there's a lot of different things that he's been saying. So it feels like he's not really quite sure where to go next. And I think that that is a bit weird for him because Uzi never had to think about what he's going to do next, what his next sound was going to be. Uzi just did. He just did things and people liked it regardless. So now when he's just doing things and people are kind of like, I don't know about that, Uzi. I think that that is kind of weird for him and he's not really quite sure how to handle that. Ironically, whenever Uzi tries to like activate his fan base or rejuvenate them, get them excited again, he kind of leans into the old Uzi. He'll say stuff like the old Uzi's coming back, or he'll do a bunch of things that remind people of stuff from back in the day, or, he'll even say he's going to continue a series that people loved in his discography, like Love is Rage. I think that's exactly what happened with EA2. EA2 didn't really need to be a continuation of the original EA. It didn't really feel like it musically, at least to me. Now, of course, he tried to do some things with the aesthetics and, trying to tell the story of now he's in the alien world.
There was like, I ain't gonna lie, that EA album was fucking garbage, bro. EA2 at least. EA2 was fucking garbage. There was like 2, max 3 songs that I was like, this is good. Not even, this is okay. Maybe at the time it was good, but honestly, like a week later, it was okay. And now, like, those songs aren't even in rotation, like, at all. But again, I've already said it. I feel like Uzi has given us enough good music to where it's like, there's still times randomly where I'll be like, I feel like listening to some Uzi. And then, there's a long list of Uzi songs where it's like I can jam out and like be like, yo, this is hard.
And he's breaking out or whatever, but that album just didn't really feel like it needed to be EA2. Besides,
hey, Yellow, bro. One of these days you gonna see me, bro. One of these days you gonna have to feel me, bro.
Nostalgia baiting fans, at least in my opinion. And sometimes he'll even like have his hair dyed purple again to get those 2016 vibes back and have the fans going crazy. When the last 2 albums came out and they weren't super well received, Uzi tried to like distract us. I don't really know how to describe it, but he's like,
no, we not gonna ban him,
that.
Bro. That's
I'm dropping new music. And he did that both
Sticks,
with the Pink
tripping.
Tape and EA2. And he typically does it with like old music. He's like, yeah, guys, I'm gonna drop some Love is Rage 3 for y'all. I'm gonna drop Love is Rage 3, or I'm gonna...
What about Love is Rage 3?
Oh yeah, that's coming. Not too long. Probably, like, honestly, I know I usually be lying, but a couple months.
Drop some stuff that sounds like old Uzi. Like, it's kind of like his tactic of like getting what I guess is the heat off of him for dropping a project that a lot of people didn't like. When he dropped Pink Tape and, there was a lot of mixed reviews, a lot of people weren't liking it, some people were, he immediately came out and said, hey, y'all, I'm about to drop Barter 1600, which was supposed to be his version of Young Thug's Barter 6, which is Young Thug's version of the Carter series from Lil Wayne, which, it's a really long thing that just, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he was like, oh yeah, Barter 1600 on the way. And he was posting a bunch of snippets and doing like Young Thug cosplay. It was kind of strange. But then after that, he was like, hey y'all, if y'all get the Pink Tape to, I believe he said if y'all get the Pink Tape to #1, he would drop Love is Rage 3, which, is a historic series in the Uzi catalog. That's probably his strongest series in his discography. So people were like, oh my God, Love is Rage 3, the return to the old Uzi sound. We have to run, and it was like trying to almost distract us from the fact that
I feel like some of the best Uzi songs right now are like those TikTok snippets. Have y'all ever been scrolling on TikTok and then you just hear a crazy hard Uzi verse? I would play one for y'all because there's one I literally just saved the other day, but I ain't trying to get copyrighted. But I feel like unreleased Uzi is low-key the hardest.
The conversation surrounding the Pink Tape wasn't completely positive all the way around. And with EA2, he did a very similar thing. EA2 came out and you know, if you thought the conversation surrounding the Pink Tape was really negative, the conversation surrounding that album was very, very negative. And he immediately was like dropping a snippet on Instagram, and people were like, oh my God, the old Uzi's back, the old Uzi's back. I can't believe it. Yeah, this is going to be way better than the album. People were even saying that EA2 was just his last album on the deal, and he was just trying to put an album out there for the label so he could get off his label and actually drop his real music. Whenever fans have to make up their own theory like that, especially they go to that theory and they say that this album was just a throwaway to get off the label, that's how you know an album was kind of bad, bro. Like, I'm not, you know, I love Uzi, and that's the only bad album in his discography, in my opinion. But whenever the fans are going out of their way and saying, yo, he dropped this album just to get off his label, it's a throwaway, don't even pay attention to that album, bro.
Overly coping.
That's how you kind of know with the project. It seems like whenever Uzi feels like his music isn't landing the way he wanted, he kind of resorts to nostalgia bait. Not only is his music not being glazed, but it feels like he lacks a bit of confidence in what he's doing. For the Pink Tape, he didn't put out a single music video, and as soon as he got like 2 weeks away from the album, he completely stopped talking about it, stopped promoting it, stopped posting about it. It's like as soon as he drops and it's not loved, he tries to move on as quick as possible. Uzi is far from a lame artist, at least to me. He just now has to be a bit more intentional with what he does. Like he said when he...
I don't think so, though. And that, again, I've said the point a couple times now. I think Uzi is at a point in his career where if he wants to do something groundbreaking, he should. But if he just wants to chill and have fun and drop good music, hey, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, bro. I mean, well, good music is... it hasn't been feeling that good. But again, I think what Uzi should do is maybe do like a tour. I don't think we've seen a full Lil Uzi Vert tour. I feel like that could be something that's dope. But again, if he doesn't feel like it, I mean, sure. He's his own man.
He was on the come up with these old guys who had been running around for a minute. They got to get with the program. Uzi is now the guy who might need to get with the program with some of these young guys. Uzi's at a very pivotal point in his career where a lot of people are doubting him, and the others are just hopeful that he can return to the musical dominance he once had. I think Uzi is an amazing artist, and if he locks in, he can awaken another prime. He'll pretty much always be relevant, but if he's still able to be a creative mind that people follow into his 30s, that would be super impressive. It is just a bit funny, though, that when Uzi finally starts to hit some rocks in the road in his career is when he gets to the age that he...
When's the 340 Ori tour? Bro. I'll say this. In my streaming arc, in my current streaming arc, my goal is to get as popular as possible, and then I want to start making streams on making music on streams and shit. And then I think that's when I'll start dropping music again. As well, I don't know if we'll drop music as 340 Ori though, but I still have a bunch of unreleased 340 Ori songs that I feel like me and Feek still need to drop. But hey, we'll see what it is. Berto, why are you shadow banned on YouTube? Bro, Lord knows, but we still grinding, bro.
He was ridiculing a lot of people for just being. Like, you can't choose your age, but Uzi was really going at people's necks for daring to be born before him. Now, you know, his career could have fallen off in like a few years like Lil Pump or Smoke Perp, and we wouldn't even be having these discussions. So it's not like unheard of to finally have some issues in your career 10 years in, or it's not a bad thing, or it's not, you know, something to try to point the finger at Uzi and be like, oh my God, you're a bum, you fell off. Like, it's none of that. It is just a bit funny, though, that, you know, he was so heavy on his age and youth and all this stuff, and being young was so great, and now that he's, you know, no longer young, at least according to that version of Uzi, even though he's still a young person, like 30 is not old in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you. I wish the motherfuckers watching would understand that, but I ain't even give y'all the satisfaction no more, pissing me off, bro.
It's just funny that now his struggles come once he's past the age of 27, and it's just kind of a bit of a full circle moment of, like, you know, the power of the tongue, maybe. But I don't know. Regardless, if you made it this far, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, bro. At the end of the day, like I said, I think Uzi's given us enough music for a lifetime, bro. Good music at that. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's at a point in his career where, again, if he just wants to chill and have fun and drop music, the music that he wants to drop, then cool. But I think that's probably where the problem is lying. Like, he's kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, where it's like he wants to do what he wants to do. But then when he does what he wants to do and it's not received a certain way,
then he kind of like damn, all right, well let me give y'all the old Uzi. It's like I think he just needs to like look deep within himself and just be accepting of what he wants to do next in his career. But it's a lot easier said than done. As a creator artist myself, you know, like creative decision is always like conflicting, because there's like what you want to do just with your own creative mind, but then especially if you get to the point where you have an audience that knows you for this one thing and likes you for this one thing, it's very conflicting when it comes to trying new shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, but sometimes you just got to trust your gut and just do it. You know what I'm saying? Take that risk. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. My name's Berto. Make sure you guys join the live streams. The link to that is in the description. Where you at, Berto? We stream every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Jesus. I almost stuttered, but I didn't. I love y'all. See you on the next one. Peace.
Where you at, Berto?
I made this shit look too easy.